So, what happens when artificial intelligence can't tell the difference between a snack and a gun? A Maryland student found out the hard way when an AI powered gun detection system misread his bag of Doritos as a firearm, triggering an unnecessary armed police response. It sounds absurd because it is. But what's behind it is far more serious than just one little glitch. It's about how AI systems are being embedded into public safety without almost no oversight. And what happens when we let code make judgment calls meant for actual humans. That's what we're talking about today on Open Tabs with Attorney Danielle. Let's get into it. Hi, I'm Attorney Danielle, and I cover all things tech, policy, law, and culture. And today we are talking about a real incident in Maryland that captures the growing danger of unregulated artificial intelligence. When an AI system designed to detect guns in school mistakes a bag of Doritos for a gun.
With guns drawn, Baltimore County Police surrounded a group of students at Kenwood High School Monday night after the Omnilert AI gun detection system warned school leaders that the student had a gun. Body camera footage shows police detaining all of those students and then searching one of them.
Do you have a gun on you?
No. What?
Do you have anything blue that looks like a gun?
But the student never had a gun. Instead, what Omnilert detected was a bag of chips.
That's what that's what it looks like right here. It looks like that. Yeah.
After confirming there was no weapon, the Department of School Safety and Security reviewed and canceled the initial alert.
So basically the cameras around the system, they pick up on things that look like guns. I guess just the way you guys were eating chips, Doritos, or whatever, it picked it up as a gun. That's all.
Officials with the school and Omnilert said the system was working properly, but county leaders have called for its review, concerned the false alarm traumatized the students. As police conclude their investigation, one of the responding officers is heard pointing out the system's faults.
AI is not the best.
This wasn't a one-off mistake. It's a warning sign about the kind of infrastructure society is quietly building, one where automated systems define what counts as a threat and human judgment comes second. So, let's get into it. Let's discuss how this happened and why this is not just a glitch. Because AI-based weapon detectors use computer vision trained on thousands of labeled images. It's trained on what looks like a gun and what doesn't. But the system doesn't actually understand context. The system processes patterns and probabilities. If the light bounces wrong, if an object has a similar outline, if a camera angle shifts, the system can flag an everyday object as a deadly one. So when Omnilert software saw a shiny, crinkled bag in a student's pocket, it calculated a gun-like probability, triggered a school lockdown protocol, and police responded accordingly. What happened in Maryland isn't a malfunction. It's the predictable outcome of a system built for speed and not discernment. Society has designed infrastructure that acts faster than people can think, and we've told ourselves that that equals safety. So why does this matter? This matters because there's a bigger issue here. There are no federal laws regulating how these kind of AI detection systems are tested, deployed, or audited before they're installed in public schools. None. Zero. Zilch. Private vendors market them directly to school districts as turnkey safety solutions. Contracts are signed, software is installed, and the public is rarely told what accuracy rates look like, how alerts are verified, or whether the models have been tested across diverse populations. When something goes wrong, the accountability chain collapses. The vendor says the system flagged a potential threat. The school says it followed protocol. Law enforcement says it responded to an alert. And the person caught in the middle, in this case, a young 16-year-old boy, bears the full cost of that error. That's the governance gap I keep talking about in every single video. AI systems are being deployed faster than the legal frameworks that should regulate them. So let's just talk about how we're moving from surveillance to infrastructure. Because this story isn't just about a bad algorithm. It's about the kind of public infrastructure we're building here. For most of modern history, infrastructure meant roads, bridges, and power grids, the physical systems that keep society running. Today, it also means digital networks of sensors and algorithms that quietly govern public life. Surveillance is no longer just a tool. It's now terrain. AI systems in schools, doorbells, and public cameras are becoming a part of the civic fabric. But without the safeguards we demand for every other form of infrastructure. There are federal safety standards for bridges, emissions, even food labeling, but not for algorithmic systems that can trigger armed police responses. We've essentially privatized public safety, letting companies sell AI security as a service while governments remain unprepared to regulate its use. So who owns the mistake? When an algorithm misidentifies a threat, who's responsible? The company that wrote the code? The school that bought it? The officers who responded? In practice, no one. That's what makes this story even more absurd. AI is being positioned as a kind of infallible witness. It's emotionless, data-driven, and efficient, so they say. But that framing hides a truth lawyers and technologists both understand. The moment an automated alert is treated as evidence, we shift from human discretion to algorithmic presumption. And that is not public safety. That's just automated suspicion. So what's the lesson we should take away here? In my opinion, the Doritos incident should make every single one of us pause. Because if an AI system can misidentify a snack bag as a weapon, imagine what happens when similar systems are used to evaluate people, predict crimes, or flag suspicious behavior. Without clear federal oversight, we're normalizing surveillance creep without consent. We're embedding bias, fear, and error into our public systems and calling it innovation. The law just hasn't caught up yet, and there are no mandatory standards for transparency, no right to explanation when an algorithm misfires, and no recourse for those that are harmed. Until that changes, AI safety will remain a slogan and not a safeguard. So on to final thoughts. A bag of Doritos shouldn't be able to summon armed officers. But that's the world that is being built, one where automation moves faster than accountability. Artificial intelligence is not just making mistakes, it's making horrible decisions. And every time we let a system like this go unchecked, we reinforce a dangerous idea that convenience, speed, or fear are acceptable substitutes for judgment. So the next time that you hear AI is making schools safer, ask, for who and at what cost? Well, guys, that's the end of this video. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. And I have a question for you. Should AI systems be allowed to trigger police action in schools? Or should we hit pause until there's real oversight? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And while you're here, make sure you check out my podcast, The Miseducation of Technology, available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and right here on YouTube. Because technology may have been miseducated, but you do not have to be. See you next time on Open Tabs with Attorney Danielle. Bye.